You too.
How are you?
Jamie, thank you for inviting me.
And I was telling Tony Blair,
How are you doing? Nice to meet
you guys have something in common.
Yes.
We're in a rock band.
Right.
He had his own rock band before he was prime minister.
Newscum.
Do you want to talk about the news?
Yep.
On this podcast that we do?
Have we followed it this week? What's been happening in the news?
I followed some of it, but the first thing to say is obviously that you should like the video. Even before watching it, you should just like it as a courtesy, as a common courtesy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Help the algorithm.
Exactly.
What they say.
Yeah. So what's happened in the news? Well, I've been looking at news from a few weeks ago. And finding that quite interesting.
My favorite kind of news.
Yeah.
It really puts the new in news.
Well, it really makes you realize how pointless it would be looking at this news by the time of next week. Because if you look at last week's news, like, God, that's pointless now, isn't it? And then you just think, well, it's all just pointless, the whole thing, because it just goes, things come and go and nobody really cares about anything. So I was looking at this.
So like and subscribe.
So this attack on the Manchester synagogue that nobody cares about.
Oh,
did you hear about the fact that the police shot one of the people?
No, tell me all about it.
Two people died. Two people were killed in the passive.
The police, oh no.
One of them was killed by this insane, crazy, terrorist, evil, nasty guy. The other one was killed by the police. So other people... A few people were injured. The most critically injured was also by the police. So it's almost 1 for 1. One death by the police, one person hit by a car by the guy, one person killed by the guy, and then one other person shot by the police but not killed.
God, it reminds me of the Hannibal Directive.
But this has not been... I didn't know about it. This was not reported anywhere, really, that the police shot 2 people, killing one of them.
Wow.
I mean, I consider the police normally aren't that bad.
The police in Britain are brilliant with their guns. They take ages to get to. They don't have them, but then if they need them, they have them in about 20 minutes, and then they shoot the guy dead.
20 minutes.
They do. They're quick. They're really efficient.
20 minutes is not very quick.
The Americans should take some note of it. It's like, yeah, we just take.
Stop. No one cares about America. Why do you have to compare everything to America? Who cares? We're talking about the police in the UK, and they're fine. All right. Yeah. They're not usually this. They're not usually this. No, not well done. They were bad this time. They were terrible.
I mean, in general, well done. It's like a shit sandwich. It's like feedback to the police.
What is well done?
In general, you've been doing brilliantly with guns.
They haven't. Why are you saying that? Because you're comparing it to America, aren't you?
On this occasion.
You're
no, I was comparing it to the British police's previous record.
Well, no, you're comparing the previous record of the British police to America, and that's why you think it's amazing. Not killing people shouldn't be amazing. It's not
okay.
You're not shooting people. It's not like, well done, another day where the police haven't shot their own citizens. Thank God we don't live in America. It's not about America, all right?
Okay.
The point is that they did shoot some people.
So PC, Brown.
And they're like...
Tell us, what do you think went well today?
Well, we did shoot some people today, but just think about all the other days. Aren't we good? Aren't we really good police?
Here's my shit sandwich feedback. Now, generally speaking, you've been very, very good with guns.
Very good.
Now, secondly, I would just say I wonder if you shouldn't have shot someone today. And what are you going to do in the future to improve your practice?
Well, nothing, because there's been absolutely no repercussions for it. Yeah. Nobody seems to give a shit. So I was reading this is the BBC News. So one of the problems I think
presumably they did that by accident. Is that fair to say?
You would hope so.
No, but sorry, I mean, but did they kill like a baddie? Is what I mean.
Or well, they killed the terrorist guy. Look, I think it's stupid calling him a terrorist, right? Why is some nut job going to a synagogue and killing people? Why is that a terrorist? It's not involved in any terrorist networks.
It's terrified people.
Well, but the people going around London like with axes and stuff all the time. They're not terrorists.
But he intended to terrorize a community.
Well, that's what everybody does.
Well, if you go around with
you're going to say that all of the people who came out on the streets rioting, who are intending to terrify immigrants and people at refugees, are they all terrorists? Are they?
No.
Yeah, I win. I win the argument. Yeah. Or do I? Maybe I'm wrong. Let's. Have you got another point?
No, I missed yours. What was
Yes.
you saying?
Oh, nothing. Let's get back to this. So, what were you talking about? Oh, this terrorist who's not a
Yeah.
terrorist.
Yep.
He So this other guy. So this guy was killed, right? This guy was fucking killed by the police, right? And the BBC reported on his funeral. And this is how the BBC put it. It said funeral tribute to synagogue attacks quiet hero, right? And it goes through. He was obviously quite a brave guy. He went to barricade the door to stop this guy from getting in, and ended up somehow getting shot by the police, even though he was inside. I don't really understand it, but anyway, there's this long article about this guy, and it starts with this: Adrian Dolby, 53, leaped from his seat to block the doors of the building as knife-wielding Jihad al-Shami, 35, tried to get in to attack worshippers on Thursday morning. And then it says, Mr. Dolby was killed along with Melvin Kravitz, 66, as the attack unfolded on Yom Kippur, the most holy day of the Jewish calendar. So he was killed with Melvin Kravitz. Melvin Kravitz was killed by the guy. Mr. Dolby was also killed in the incident by the police. And then it's got a lot of stuff praising him, the local rabbi praising him and stuff. And then you get all the way down and it goes, he was saving the lives of his community. There is none holier, there is none greater, there is none higher, a great, great martyr, right? And I think that's fair enough, but are you going to point out what actually happened on the day? Because then right at the end, it says, Mr. Dolby is believed to have been inadvertently shot dead by armed police as they scrambled to the scene to stop al-Shami. There's just one sentence that actually explains what happened in this whole thing. And so I just find the whole thing really bizarre. It's like the BBC they want to make this thing out to be worse than it was. And they want to cover up the fact that it was actually a really botched job by the police at stopping this guy, which seems very bizarre to me. And if the other guy that was shot, who was hospitalized by police fire, he said he forgives the police, which is fair enough. But it's like, in general, you just thought there would be more of. I mean, there is obviously an independent police investigation, as always has to be when the police shoot people. But there's no kind of national talking point, because as you say, the police in this country are very good. And it's very unusual that they shoot anyone, never mind two people shooting one dead in the same day. I just find it very strange. But you find it quite normal, I guess.
Well, what's strange about it? It's a news story, isn't it? That they wanted to sometimes sometimes small numbers of deaths have massive political and societal repercussions because they mean something. They echo something bigger. So if you remember Raoul Moat, do you remember that loony? I mean, did he? I think he did kill someone. I think he killed his ex-wife.
He killed a policeman.
He killed a policeman. Did he? And did he terrorize his ex-wife, or did he?
He killed.
But it was just.
He definitely killed his ex-wife's new boyfriend.
Okay. Yeah.
And
I think he
yeah.
did too. Yeah.
And then anyway. And
but that was a gigantic story.
Paul Gascoigne came to help him. Do you remember that?
No.
Yeah, when he was out hiding in the woods, and he was like, the police were, there was like what's the word? Not a stakeout, but the police were like surrounding him. Yeah. What's that called? When you're outside the castle,
laying him to siege.
Siege, yeah. There was like a siege, and because he was heavily armed inside. And it was like a day of this. It was like all on the news, wasn't it? 24 hours, like this sort of siege outside this like rural house. And to diffuse the situation, Paul Gascoigne came down. I can't remember what he brought. I'm gonna Google it now. He brought it was like a biblical story. It was like he brought 3 sort of random things that I guess you could read like high symbolism into. I think Paul Gascoigne is possibly the best person who's ever lived. Certainly 20th century, Paul Gascoigne, Ralmo. There we go.
Wow, I had no idea about that. I probably didn't follow the story that well, but I guess my point is that it was it was one that had a lot of resonance in society because I don't quite know why, but
That's a
people really
great
latched
point.
onto it, didn't they?
Great argument.
Well, it's a discussion.
No, I think you're right, but why do these things happen? It's often there's a media spectacle about it. Like, there could be a media spectacle about this, but why the police shot some people. But there just seems to be no interest in making a story because there's a bigger story, or the story they prefer to have, which is that Jews are under attack from terrorists.
I mean, there's no good story, is there? And by the way, the police did half of this fuck up.
Why is that? It's the truth, and also
but who gives a But that's not what news values are, is it? That's not how newspapers and TV
I know
programs are put together.
that's the and that's what
not shocking.
That's what I'm pointing out. Well, it is shocking.
It's a procedural
It is shocking.
It's not shocking because when you send the police into a violent situation, then you expect things to go wrong.
They rarely do, though. I mean, do you remember they had the attacks in London Bridge? They were pretty shocking.
But what's the implication of it? It's like the police went. We're not saying that the police did anything wrong. They just.
Well, I don't know.
Something probably did go wrong, but no one's saying, "Oh, the police deliberately did."
No one's saying anything, Matt. No one's saying anything. That's the point. If you had more scrutiny on it, maybe you would find out what happened.
Well,
most people don't even.
If there was scrutiny on it, you'd probably find out that he just tried to shoot the bad guy through the door and accidentally shot the guy, and that's really sad. And everyone agrees it's a bad thing. It's not like what happened with the Hannibal Directive thing. That's different. I mean, it looked like Israel probably killed whatever north of 100 people as part of that. That's politically significant. So the fact that was suppressed for a long time, I think, is a really important story. But I'm not sure about this one. It sounds more like a police procedural issue. So I can see why they footnoted it. I also see it is annoying because they were already trying to push this story as if it was like loads of people have been mass murdered in a anti-Semitic.
I'm not saying that, although I just thought about this now, that the police thought, oh, he hasn't killed enough people, let's kill a few ourselves. I'm not saying that.
No, we're definitely not saying that, Jesus.
No, I am not. I'm definitely not saying that, although I have just said it. That is the best thing about not saying something is when you say it.
That would be a really evil policeman outdoors.
But I do think there is like there's objective, well, not, there's trying to be objective and report on what's happened, and then there is trying to make things that are happening in the world fit into narratives that you want to push.
Yeah,
right?
Well, they're always doing that. And
yes, I know. And this is, I just wanted to point out for our podcast a moment of that. Am I allowed to do that? Can I just do that once? Anyway, do you want to know what Paul Gascoigne brought to Raoul Moat?
I'm very curious. Yeah.
He brought a fishing rod, chicken, and a can of lager.
A chicken? What, a chicken to cook?
I guess so. Lager. Yeah, because he thought that might help out. But it didn't work in the end, despite Gascoigne's best efforts.
I wonder if the police sent Gaza in, like that basketball player who sometimes goes to see Kim Jong-un.
Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah, Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah, well, I think Gaza would be a good political negotiator. Maybe not a good police negotiator. I think if you were like in some really sort of, intense environment, like hostage situation, like you've robbed a bank. I'm thinking of Dog Day Afternoon, right? You've robbed a bank, but you haven't got away in time. The police are outside, so you've started to take some of the people inside the bank hostage. Anything could happen. If Paul Gascoigne turned up, I think it would just be it would just change the mood. You'd be like, you've got to listen to us. I've brought you a fishing rod, a chicken, and a can of lager. I almost went a bit scouse there. But I think, is that Paul Gascoigne? Is that Gaza out there? And then you'd be tempted to just be like, actually, yeah, this is silly. What am I doing with myself here, holding hostages? This isn't me. And then you just go out and like go arm in arm with Gaza, and everyone goes to the pub, and they've got the police there, and Gaza, and the hostages, and everybody's having a good time.
He's doing all right, isn't he, Gaza? He looked like he was at death's door about 20 years ago with alcoholism. He's still kicking around, isn't he?
Yeah,
I haven't missed the news.
I mean, I wouldn't say he looks good, but
Oh.
yeah, he's still alive, which is definitely not what you would expect.
Yeah. Excellent. Hi, Gaza. Always a
Hi,
fan.
Kaz, a regular viewer.
Yeah.
We've only got 10 minutes. We've got less than 10 minutes left. Do you want to talk about yeah, following this, obviously
Did you
this
make your point?
I don't know. What do you think? I don't know.
So. I think if people watch it back enough times, I think they'll
Yeah.
see that there
If
was
they watch
probably...
it back on different YouTube accounts and press like on all of them,
Yeah, then you
that
get
would
more
be good.
information.
So I think following this, I'm trying to make this seamless, right? Following on from that attack, Keir Starmer has launched. This is from The Guardian. Starmer orders NHS anti-Semitism review after clear cases not dealt with adequately. Now, this isn't directly linked, but it's they link it generally with sort of rise in anti-Semitism in the country. Do you think there's been a rise in anti-Semitism in the country?
I haven't looked.
You haven't looked. Where would you look?
I'd look on a graph. I seem to remember on what's that guy who speaks like this on late at night?
Robert Peston.
Robert Peston. I seem to remember seeing a graph that showed that it had gone up, but I think it might have only gone up in like the last year or two or something, and it was still quite low.
Since
you know better than I do. You follow these things.
Since Keir Starmer became leader of the Labour Party, it's gone up.
Yeah.
No, it goes up every year. It's like one of those things. Like they find new ways of measuring it, so it never goes down. I'd like to find a year when it's gone down. That would be interesting. So it was apparently going up when Ed Miliband was leader as well.
Yeah.
And then it obviously went up when Jeremy Corbyn was leader, and it's continuing to go up now that Keir Starmer's leader.
Well, it went up when Jeremy...
I'm not saying this all directly related to the Labour leader, but that's the only thing that matters when it comes to anti-Semitism. But anyway, so this is The Guardian. Starmer orders NHS anti-Semitism review after clear cases not dealt with adequately. Clear cases not dealt with adequately is in quotation marks. I mean, it's fairly common, but that doesn't make it good.
Listening to that headline made me triggered a yawn. Starmer
Get excited. Get excited.
Fucking whatever. Oh,
I know,
God.
it's very much like the Labour Party.
What a predictable fucking...
So the Prime Minister said John Mann, obviously John Mann's back in it, the government's independent advisor on anti-Semitism, would lead the review as part of a wider crackdown on anti-Semitism in the UK, right? There's the link to anti-Semitism in the UK. So what is all this anti-Semitism that's taking place in the NHS? What do you think it is? Think it's a Holocaust denial? Do you think that's what's going on?
I have no idea. You tell me.
Do you think... Well, have a guess. Have a guess what you think it is.
Is it that, I don't know, people think that all the hospital equipment and beds and stuff is like provided by some big Jewish donor?
Yes, exactly. The Jews
really?
The Jews run the banks. No, it's to do with Palestine, isn't it? It's got nothing to do with anti-Semitism.
Yeah.
During a visit to the Community Security Trust, which monitors anti-Semitism and provides protection for Jewish communities in the UK, the Prime Minister also announced £10 million would be provided for security for Jewish amenities, including synagogues and schools. He said, this is quite good. This is a classic sort of Starmer quote. We have heard loud and clear. Wait, I have to do a Starmer.
Please do.
Here's my new Starmer. We've heard. Is that good? We've heard loud and clear. We've heard. Is that good? What do you think?
Well, it's an impression rather than an impersonation. That's all you need to know.
What's the difference?
If I'm impersonating you, I make sure that I sound exactly like you.
Oh, so it's better.
But yeah, it's better. Whereas an impression is just gives you the impression of what someone's like or what a thing is like.
Okay. We've heard loud and clear. That was quite good. Clear. In the last few days. I come in and out. Comes in and in the last few days. We have heard loud and clear in in the last few days and weeks that words are not enough. Action is what matters.
Action. Oh, you did a good action there.
Was it action? Action is what matters.
Yeah.
Action. It's a good quote, though, isn't it? Because he says, "We have heard loud and clear, presumably words, that in the last few days and weeks, that words are not enough." That's what he's heard. They're the words that he's heard. He's heard that words are not enough, and that action what's matter. How has he learned that? He's learned that through words. It's like some kind of logic poem. The Department of Health and Social Care (DHSC) later confirmed that the urgent review followed recent incidents of anti-Semitism from doctors, which drew stark attention to the problems of culture and the regulation in the health system. It said the review would look at how to protect patients and staff from racism and hold perpetrators to account. Do you want to know what we're treating made?
Who's being racist to who?
Doctors and nurses.
To the patients.
Yep. Every day. Just constant racism.
Like doctors, the most educated, nicest people.
Well, what do you think that racism involves? Note, by the way, that there is no examples of it in this entire article of what they're actually talking about. But if you dig a little bit deeper, you'll find that it's wearing watermelon badges. It's expressing support for Palestine and being quizzical about the genocide. The health secretary West Treating said, "I've been appalled by recent incidents of anti-Semitism by NHS doctors, and I will not tolerate it. There can be no place in our NHS for doctors or staff
for intolerance.
Yeah.
There can be no place for intolerance. I will not tolerate it."
Yeah. NHS doctors or staff continuing to practice after persistently using anti-Semitic or hateful language. I think there was one instance of that. But they're going to have a whole review into the entire, a million people that work for the NHS because of that.
That sounds like who's going to chair that? I wonder if I could get that job. That'd be good. It sounds like a good way of making a few quid.
No, it's John Mann, the anti-Semitism czar.
Damn it.
He's always taking your jobs.
Yeah.
How are we doing for time?
Yeah, carry on.
We've got less than a minute.
Good. Tell us more.
Well, it's too late. I mean, if you had been more interested to begin with, then maybe we would have just got straight into it. But you were fighting it the whole time, weren't you, Matt? Instinctively, you didn't think it would be a good article, but it is.
It was a really good
article. It's not even over, but I can't continue it now because we've got less than a minute. We're going to get cut off.
Oh.
So I'm just blathering.
You could carry on, though.
I could.
There's still time.
Well, yeah, but I don't know how much time.
What you're doing now is a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Well, it's it's a margin call, isn't it? And we're back. I felt like things were getting a bit heated there, Matt. I think it was my fault. I'm sorry. I'm under a lot of stress. You wouldn't believe it because it would sound made up. Strangely enough.
But it's not. Haven't you had to do lots of organizing things lately?
I suppose so, but I mean, when I compare it to just about anybody I've ever met, it doesn't sound like much stress to me, to be honest. It just feels like it. Anyway, to get back to this article that you like.
All depends on expectations.
That's true. Well,
in terms of
I expected to have a lot less stress.
Yeah. Yeah, go on then. Let's get back to this article.
Announcing the review at the CST, Stom said, "Lord Mann is going to do a review of the NHS for us." Good, great. There are just too many. This is great. There are just too many examples, clear examples of anti-Semitism that have not been dealt with adequately or effectively. Again, maybe Starmer mentioned some in his speech. They're certainly not reproduced in this article. We've already, to quote Starmer again, we've already put in place management training in relation to the NHS, but I think we need a wider review because in some cases, clear cases are simply not being dealt with. And so we need to get to the root of that. The root of we need to root out anti-Semitism, Matt. Root it out by the roots. That's one of Starmer's favorite things.
Root and branch reform.
No, he never mentions branches, only roots. He's only interested in the roots. I've never heard him say branch. How would he say it? Branch, root and branch. But this is my take on it, right? So there's been some protests organized in the NHS over the last year or so against a company called Palantir. Do you know it?
I've come across that. I can't remember why.
Yeah.
Palantir, are they the private company that provides stuff for the NHS? Is it?
Yeah, it's run by Peter Thiel.
Oh yes. Okay. And
And
Peter Thiel was the American billionaire who's in charge of what again?
he made his money through PayPal, I think was the first thing that he made.
Right.
And Palantir is basically a surveillance networking thingy maringy that US um, alphabet organizations use.
Yeah.
And it also does some sort of AI weapon type thing in Israel.
Oh
And
yes, of course.
and it
Yes. Yes.
also
Daddy's Home. That one. I
controls,
think it might be them.
or yeah, they all got really, really good names
Sinister
like
names.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. They also they have control of all the data in the NHS of all the patients, like you, sir, if you've ever been there.
And they do control the pay. Oh, okay. Yeah. They
Uh,
control patient data.
yeah. So NHS staff were protesting this, saying that we don't want to have a contract on the NHS to have this massive contract with a company that is involved in bombing Gaza.
Hmm.
Now, another issue that you have in the UK is academics who don't want UK institutions or even individual academics to be working with Israeli academic institutions, which are also heavily involved in what's going on in Gaza, right?
Yeah.
And obviously, that's annoying when people try and connect these sorts of dots together and try and defund, boycott Israel for committing these crimes. So the way to get around it is you have to conflate it with anti-Semitism and then bring in things like the IHRA definition of
The definition.
anti-Semitism.
Yeah.
Yeah, which obviously Corbyn had a big problem with in the Labour Party. So this is also part of this supposed fight against anti-Semitism in the NHS. Meanwhile, the government is asking NHS England to adopt the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance definition of anti-Semitism and set clear expectations that every trust, integrated care board, and arm's length body does the same, right? So on the one hand, you've got this fight against individuals wearing, watermelons or whatever. You've got a specific doctor who has said some inflammatory stuff about October the 7th, who has actually been arrested. And then you've got them trying to bring in the IHRA definition for the whole of the NHS, right? So that you basically
Yeah.
can't protest against Israel because protest against Israel is itself anti-Semitic. It's all very interesting.
Hmm.
And you can
Yeah. There's
see
big.
why the attack in Manchester would want to be framed in a particular way, regardless of who died, because no one cares about that. That's the main thing to understand. Nobody cares about people who died, and someone like the guy that actually did it, you want to make sure that he is seen as being politically, ideologically coherent with some sort of left-wing project with the protests for Palestine. You want to say that all of this is the same kind of thing, right? That nurses that are protesting the genocide in Gaza while doing a bang-up job every day, working really, really hard for low pay, right, are the same as terrorists who are killing people in synagogues in Manchester. And anti-Semitism is rife, and we've got to sort it out across the board. But I
Well,
would
you've
say,
got me convinced. I think we do need to do
well,
something about
here's my counter, right? Because you know how the libtards, they love horseshoe theory, right? Which is that people at the extreme end of the political spectrum are the same.
that. Yep.
It's a great theory,
Yep.
isn't
That
it?
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say that someone like the guy that shot shot one person, in fact. The police shot the other one. The synagogue attacker guy, he's quite an extreme position. And I would say that basically, do you know Jonathan Friedland, who writes for The Guardian? I would
Guardian.
say
Yeah.
that they're basically the same. In my mind, they're almost indistinguishable as very extreme. One of them are extreme Zionist, and one of them, whatever this guy, extremely annoying.
Mr. Jihad.
Mr. Jihad. So his name was Jihad. It's quite. It's I'll just read the last paragraph of the article. So it goes. This is way, way, way down. It's a very long article, and at the very end it says, "Meanwhile, the government has said it will also look at how best to support Muslim communities in the face of rising Islamic hate crime." Thanks for that. Good to know.
Cheers, lads.
So there was an attack on a mosque the other day.
I didn't see that. What happened?
Well, why would you see it? It would have to be on the news, wouldn't it, for that to happen? But it was not really widely reported. But there was an arson attack on a mosque. Nobody was killed, even by the police.
Even by the police.
And but they've arrested some people. But do you know what, Matt? They're not telling us the religions of the people they've arrested.
Why do that?
They should do that, shouldn't they?
Or should they? I've lost.
I don't know.
I've lost where we are in the national debate on whether we're meant to be telling people what they've done or who's done.
No, the thing is, you want to check. You want to flip flop, Matt. In this particular situation, it suits my interest to say that they should, and so that they should, because presumably. I mean, if they're, Britain is a Christian country, right? We can all agree on that. So if they're true Brits, if they're true patriotic Brits, they've got to be Christians, right?
Sounds right, yeah.
Or they might be Jewish, possibly.
It's possible.
But we need to know. We really need to know that information because then because it has been, the police have said that it's a hate crime. It's a hate crime against Muslims. That's what they think it is. But who's it by? That's what I want to know. Is it by Jonathan Friedland and his gang of Jews, or is it by Tommy Robinson and his gang of Christians? I want to know which religious group is responsible for this atrocity.
So seriously, do you think that that they shouldn't say the religious or ethnic or whatever background when there is an attack?
Just be consistent.
You think just be consistent either way? Yeah, I suppose that makes sense.
I mean, I don't really care. But
it's probably better just.
But I do think.
Why stir things up?
Well, I mean, this is the thing. I mean, this guy did seem really, really insane. The guy, he was in this weird.
Literally gave insane people a bad name. He
was in this controlling relationship with this woman that he lied to about his age, and she was 18 and he was in his 30s. Like, it's not like he was just like I want to attack Jewish people in Manchester because I'm outraged by what's happening in Gaza. Like it wasn't. Well, that wasn't. Maybe it was even barely an afterthought. I don't know. But a lot of the times with these kind of particularly jihad, Islamist attacks, like they're not really that religious. They barely know anything about the religion. They don't really. I mean, it's a bit like Zionists. A lot of like the really Jewish people in this country are actually anti-Zionist. It's the Jonathan Friedland kind of middle class people who are not really that Jewish, and in fact, basically, the most their Jewish identity is about their interest in Israel because they don't want to fucking go to the synagogue every week. It's boring. They've got fabulous lives, they're going to great restaurants, going out to the theater and stuff. They want to read the Torah all the time, right? They want to read Michael Winterbottom's latest. No, Michael Winner. Michael Winterbottom. Michael Winterbottom should take over Michael Winner's column for the restaurants.
Are they both still going? Michael Winner and Michael Winterbottom?
Are they both still alive? Are you saying that Gaz has outlived them both?
I don't know. One of them's gone and one of them hasn't, and I keep getting.
I imagine Michael Winner's probably gone. When you look at what he fucking ate.
What did he eat?
Everything.
Oh.
Anyway, Labour lost the by-election yesterday. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, well, I only just saw the headline this morning. Yeah, what's gone on? They said it's unprecedented or something.
Yeah, well, Labour's held the seat since forever, and now it's Plaid Cymru. And
Yeah,
Reform were second. Labour weren't even second.
right. Wow.
So pretty bad. Do you want to know what Starmer said about it this morning? Well, he didn't say anything about it. Do you know what he said this morning?
No, I do want to know though.
You do want to know, don't you? So
Wanna know.
Keir Starmer, let's get on his. What's his? Oh, the morning after this devastating defeat for Labour, Keir Starmer comes out and he says, "I recently spoke with someone buying a house with her partner. She told me that she had to pay just to verify who she was. With digital ID, that could be done in seconds and wipe out the costs.
Oh,
Digital
yes.
ID will save you time and money."
Oh, that would be so good, actually, now I think about it.
And
I'm
it was
buying a
pretty.
house and I need to identify who I am, and I would otherwise have to pay to identify who I am. It would be so useful to have a centralized surveillance system to be able to check that with a great deal more.
But it's good, isn't it? But he wasn't satisfied with that. So an hour later, he wrote, "Digital ID will bring the UK into the modern age."
Did he write it? Or did one of his underlings write it?
And then
I need my underlings to be even more boring and authoritarian than I am.
the night before, so his last tweet of the night,
Drunk now,
yeah,
but
but digital IDs, fucking yeah, I fucking love digital. Oh,
Yeah.
fucking love 'em.
I know, I don't say this enough, but Britain, I fucking love you. It's just difficult because of my dad and oh, fun. I'll call you tomorrow. We'll go for a sauna.
That's a really good drunken Starmer. So this is what he said as the polls closed. "It's frustrating having to rummage around in a drawer looking for an old electricity bill just to open a new bank account. Digital IDs will make our lives easier."
So seductive. I
Do you know what he
hate
said?
rummaging in drawers.
Do you know what he said before that?
Go on. Oh god, it's almost addictive how fucking annoying and boring he is. How much he's trying to convince.
This is on the day of the
nasty
This is on the
ideas.
day of the election, right? So that was his last tweet. His second last tweet was, "Digital ID has the potential to transform our day-to-day lives."
Does it? Huh? No more rummaging in drawers.
Do you want to know what he said before that?
Yeah, tell me all of the things that Starmer said. I turn off as soon as I see him on the television.
Well, he tweets.
Actually, I'm starting to enjoy his shitness now.
Tweets regularly. You know, this was all within an hour, I think. "Digital ID will be a huge help in tackling illegal immigration, but it's so much more than that, Matt. That's not even the half of it. It will empower people every single day by giving you a new way to prove who you are." A new way to prove who.
You need to prove who you are. Fucking
In a new way.
Tedious cunt.
Saving time and money when you apply for a mortgage by cutting down unnecessary paperwork. Proving your right to rent in one click. Personalized public services like helping parents claim eligibility for free childcare and nursing places. It is time to put power back in people's hands and bring the UK into the modern age. He is fucking obsessed with digital ID, right? And it's universally unpopular. And like a few months
You're the
ago,
only one who agrees with it.
I don't agree with it. I just think, well, I think, right, all these people that are against it, like, what the fuck are they talking about, right? So digital ID, right?
Don't get onto that. You were doing well.
I will get onto that, but like, I'm going back. Yeah. So a few months ago, Starmer was, on record, like the most unpopular prime minister in history, basically. And his decision at that point was to introduce to go hard on digital ID.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
It's completely mental.
I know what will solve this.
But obviously, it's what's interesting, right? Is so Farage has come out against it. Every other political leader's come out against it, right? But digital ID is something that was being talked about towards the beginning of the year, a few months before Starmer became obsessed with it. I mean, I would understand if this was Starmer's passion project, right? But he's never mentioned it before in his entire life. He's just come out of nowhere. But at the beginning of the year, they were talking about bringing in some kind of crypto, right? This is what they want to do. This is what like the big banks and basically the US, basically Trump wants to bring in CBDCs, which is like cryptocurrencies.
Oh yeah. They want to make America the crypto capital of the world or something they're saying.
And this is going to be the way that you're going to be able to access these is through digital IDs. And so Palantir are going to be at the forefront of this.
Oh.
But here's what I don't understand, right? Farage is heavily against it. And Palantir, do you know, oh, by the way, do you know who runs the UK, who's head of UK Palantir?
No.
The grandson of Oswald Mosley.
Oh, not far off.
But, he's his own man. You can't judge him by his grandfather. But anyway, he's come out and said that he's against Starmer's digital IDs. Farage has come out and said he's against digital IDs. Now Palantir are Farage is very friendly with Peter Thiel. Farage has come out a lot in support of crypto in general. Here's my theory, right? Just completely based on nothing, right? Keir Starmer is a very obliging, very obedient sort of man, I suppose, for the establishment. They know that he's done for. He knows that he's done for, right? So they're like, we need to get digital ID in general. It's never going to be popular. It's a bit like the Tories, right? The Tories bring in loads of terrorism, like policing bills and stuff, to stop protesting and whatnot. Labour come in and they start using what the Tories have brought in instead of, revoking it, right? So what Reform want is Starmer to bring in digital IDs so that when they come in, they go, oh, we've already got them. But hey, we can now use crypto. Isn't that good?
Yes. So this suits everyone's agenda.
Apart from Keir Starmer's own personal.
Yeah, what the fuck's he playing at? It's like he's been like, okay, here's my media strategy. We're going to do what Donald Trump does. He's always crazy and comes up with terrible ideas.
No, but
Keir Starmer
will get a good job. Maybe Keir Starmer will run Gaza when he gets kicked out, something like that.
Yeah, is Tony still up for that one, do you think?
You fail upwards, right? You do your bit that you have to do. And his thing that he has to do is like Blair had to go into Iraq. Keir Starmer has to bring in digital IDs.
Yeah.
You sacrifice yourself and then you sell your soul to the devil. Obviously, I have no idea if that's the case, but I do think it's weird that Farage and Palantir are very much against this digital ID thing. And of course, all of their supporters are, and there's lots of people on YouTube, sort of people that are sort of anti-establishment, anti-centrist politics and stuff, who are supporters of reform, who are really against this digital ID. When it sounds to me, I mean, I'm against it, but it just sounds to me like, they can cancel your bank account. Yeah, they can already do that. They know where you are all the time. Yeah, they already know that. It's like, what is it exactly that's, I mean, firstly, I just don't see how, the only way out of it is to end capitalism, I think. I mean, you can fight it like it was fought 20 years ago. But do you think in 20 years' time that digital ID will be less relevant? They'll be like, well, we didn't bring it in 2025 and now it's 2055. There's just no need for digital. It's just you just have to fight it and forever, right? Because that's the way that things are going. Unless you completely change the world.
I do kind of agree with what you're saying, because I think there's no sort of one obvious big, this would be a complete nightmare for this to be on a card on a centralized database. But I just think it's part of that mission creep, isn't it, of what the government and what the state is doing. And so if they're it makes it easier to get rid of cash, for example, at some future point. It makes it easier to introduce mandatory fingerprinting and mandatory eye scanning. In Russia they have that. You go down the tube and you don't even have to have a ticket. You just look into the
Oh,
camera
really?
like that because they've got your eyes.
Wow.
And
But
it's
they don't have your
no
eyes.
one cares about that at the moment, but it could easily go horribly wrong.
They don't have your eyes, right? So how did you?
Oh, I had to buy a ticket. But
Uh,
but the other things are like I've thrown myself now. But yeah, they've got you've got all your data or whatever. But then there's also data breaches. This is the other major issue about collecting so much data centrally. It's why people have got a problem. One of the reasons why people have got a problem with Facebook. When criminal gangs just hack into those systems and nick loads of people's data, as always happens, because some MP's gonna leave a fucking laptop somewhere or something.
Yeah, leave a laptop.
It causes those problems. So it's not like there's one overarching problem, but there are corruption issues, and then there are longer term trends towards greater and greater centralization and control, which can be
the criminal gangs
nightmarish.
Work with the CIA anyway, so don't worry about that. That's all part of it. It's not an accident, Matt.
Oh, good. Let's have fucking national IDs then, Daniel.
No, but I'm saying, well, okay.
The CIA and the criminal gangs.
Well, this is the problem, right? With this, I mean, it's the same with, you could say, on the left, right? For decades, it's always this sort of fighting back against this erosion, right? What you really want to do is you want to go on the front foot. You don't want to be like, oh, we don't want digital IDs. You want to be proposing something to push against all of this centralization of data, which is happening. I mean, the other thing is there was like this rumor that Francesca Albanese had been banned from Zoom, which I think it was because a lot of the people who are involved in like PSC, Palestine Solidarity Committee, they're very old, right? And they heard that sounded plausible to them that you could be banned from Zoom. And I'm like, how can you ban someone from, like, if she was here, I could just have, like, how could you be banned from being in my room, and being on a Zoom call? And they hadn't really thought it through. But down the line, in a few years, if the camera can read your face,
and then they just ban you, or blur you out.
Yeah, they could ban you from using computers, in fact. Unless obviously you could put your thumb over the camera. There's always that. But that wouldn't work actually, because did you ever use chat roulette?
Is that the one that goes
where you see it's like Zoom but with like random people around the world, yeah. But they've got really strict on that now because too many people were just showing their dicks all the time. So now if you block your camera or it doesn't see a face, it refuses to load.
Right. Okay.
So what you can have in the future is your computer will not turn on unless it can identify who you are, who's using the computer. And that doesn't require digital IDs. That has nothing to do with digital IDs.
No.
It's worse, far worse than digital IDs. And I don't think it would take any legislation. It would be completely up to the private companies to I mean, Apple would absolutely fucking love it. As an Apple user myself, I can tell you they would absolutely love that shit. So that they know exactly who's on the computer at any time. And you could have that rolled out across and with phones. You wouldn't be able to. It's a bit like that Black Mirror episode where he gets everybody wears augmented reality like lenses, and he gets basically like cancelled, becomes a sort of hate figure in the press, and then and people turn him off so that they can no longer see.
Yeah.
So they can't see him and he can't see them, and so he walks down the street and basically can't see anyone's face because everybody's
blurred out. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Digital ID, DigiDs, as I like to call them.
I love it how you're still like, but digital IDs are fine.
I'm not like that. You're missing the point of this whole
No,
fucking.
I do get your point. I just think it's
Nigel
part of that
Farage
sort of thing.
is well. How are you going
Else,
to find
why
it?
else would they do it? They're not doing it. Keir Starmer's not doing it because he's like, oh, I'm very worried about all the British people having to rummage through their drawers. He's doing it for some horrible agenda.
Yeah, I
To
know.
control the population.
But Reform are
So
completely behind that agenda.
yeah, but my point is, he's obviously got an idea in mind, which is not for the betterment.
But my point is, how do you
the
fight it? It's a bit
public.
like climate change, right?
So whatever that point is, or that set of points is, it's not in our interest. It doesn't. We don't have to come up with the precise, perfect one reason boiled down as to why ID cards are the worst thing in the world. We just know that it's a bad idea. 'Cause
I'm
Keir
just
Starmer's
saying,
lying about
if
it.
you're against it, it's got people who are passionately against it. I would try and think about how systemically everything is leading to that,
Well,
and
yeah,
how
fair
you
enough,
should
yeah.
have a more radical politics in general. I would say.
That's a very good point, and it's actually a little bit like that point I made about Jeffrey Epstein, if you remember, which is
No, I
I
don't
agree,
remember.
yeah, could well be a conspiracy or whatever, but provide better evidence. Go further with that thing.
No,
Which is
that was absolutely definitely a different point.
fucking hell. Right, okay, let's carry on with the next bit.
I think that might be the end of it. Oh no, actually, we can talk about the weaponization of. Well, I can't say the word on YouTube, but you know what I was talking about before with Mandelson.
Uh, yes.
No,
Which one?
which
Which
Mandelson?
thing?
No,
The
the
Epstein stuff again.
yeah, Epstein related, sure, absolutely. So it's like I want to say the N word, but not the American N word. Obviously, I would never want to say that. I mean the British N word, but not the actual British N word, which is the equivalent of the American N word. I mean the other N word that is like the American P word. Well, not the American P word, but the
Oh,
P word
okay.
that is
Yeah.
cross. It's not American or British, it's the normal P word. But we have in Britain an N word for it, which is not the N word, the American N word. It's or the British N word. It's another N word. That word.
Okay.
We're on the same page.
I think everyone
Everyone, it's
watching
clear.
this has
Everybody
no
clear?
idea what you're talking
No
about now.
idea. Come on,
Universalized the
think about it.
confusion there. Well done.
No, but
No, I know what you mean. Yes, because
yeah,
we've talked about it before. Yeah,
he knows what I mean. Yeah, yeah. You have to follow this
just flash
podcast.
it up like that when you do the edit.
You have to follow this podcast to know because words the words that we could say on previous episodes we can no longer say. So to find out what those words are, you have to go back to when they could be said, to the dawn of time. Do you ever watch that episode of Transformers when they're getting like there's like a red they call it the plague. The plague took over the universe and everyone gets touched and they get like this red rage and they have to go into the Matrix. Not the film, but Optimus Prime has a matrix in his body.
Yeah,
We're running out of time. We're going at 10 minutes.
Lingual,
Shouldn't have gone on this this Transformer tangent. And they go right to the back to find out the origins of the plague. It's like that. You have to go right to the beginning of like recorded history to find out what these words actually were. It wasn't that great. Anyway, the weaponization of the N/P word in the UK. So we've been following the grooming gang scandal.
I listened to a bit on the radio last night. Yeah.
Oh, good. What did you hear about it?
The person who was in charge of the grooming gangs
Jess Phillips.
inquiry has gone, and then Jess Phillips. Oh, Jess Phillips is in charge of it, and loads of people have said that they don't want her to be in charge of it. Loads of other people have said that we will go if she's not in charge of it. I don't really like Jess Phillips. She gives me the fucking EBGB.
No, Jess Phillips is
it does
fucking
sound
annoying.
like perhaps the I don't know, the people who were from the BBC's framing of it, it sounded like some people were just freaking out because they'd had really hard lives and were just and were throwing that onto Jess Phillips a bit unfairly, perhaps.
Well, that's very good to think, but that doesn't suit our narrative, Matt. So you're gonna have to
Good. Let's go
revise
our
that
narrative because our narrative will be better.
You got to revise that.
Correct one.
This is what you now think, Matt. Let me tell you. Next time you're asked about this, these are the talking points. Okay.
Thank you.
So the grooming gang, right? The scandal came about. Why? Well, not the scandal, but the reason that there hasn't been an inquiry, and which kind of related to the scandal, like why this idea that's been covered up or ignored for decades, right? Is because of
Two-tier care.
Two-tier Kia, exactly. Elites, liberal elites, ignoring the problem. Now, they've got it slightly wrong. They think they're ignoring it because they like Muslims. But that's not the reason. The reason is it's because they like the people we're talking
Rent
about.
boys.
Well, if we could link it, this is the final piece of the puzzle. If we can link it to the Rent Boy story, we're really cooking. If we can get that sorted. But no,
Newscum comes of age.
it's because they have a blind spot. Ideologically, centrists have a blind spot towards the Savilisation of things, right? That's because it's like I want to try it out on you, right? So you're just a guy who knows nothing about what I'm talking about. Imagine that. And
Never happened
I'm
before, but yeah.
me, and I say, well, why did Peter Mandelson get hired as ambassador?
Because he had leverage. I don't know. What do we want? It's the answer that you always tell me is the answer.
No. Just ask what. Just say what you would normally say.
Because he was close friends with Keir Starmer, and they thought that he would be able to have leverage over Donald Trump.
But they knew all about his friendship with Epstein, right? And they just ignored it. Isn't that suspicious?
Maybe they just didn't care. Maybe
oh, right.
About it. Maybe
so
they thought they'd get away with it for years. They did for years anyway.
Oh, right. So that's interesting. So you're dismissing the problem. So you don't think that the problem of this word that we can't even say, you don't even think that's really a big problem. That's interesting. So you're part of the problem. You're a centrist yourself.
Say that. I said that's what they might think. That's what Keir Starmer and
No. No, I asked you why. I asked you why they should do that, right? And you don't.
They should do that. I said why they may have done that from their own motivation.
You're not outraged by it.
What? Hang on. Why are you saying that? I didn't said that I'm not
outraged. So you are outraged.
Oh, hang on. This is one of those tactics, isn't it, in a debate to say, well, you're not that, in which case you must be that. Anyway,
you must.
Why don't you make your point?
My point is that this is a great argument tactic. See, it's working. You are.
Yes, that tactic does work. Yes. Charlie Kirk used that tactic all the time.
So you are.
Well, if you don't know what a woman is, then what is a
potato?
I don't know.
It just picks up potato. What is a fishing rod?
You can't say what a potato is.
That's what Paul Gascoigne was like. Well, what is this, Ralmo? Is that a fishing rod? So, yeah, it's good, right? Because you can't argue with it. You can't be dismissive of it. You have to be equally outraged about it, or you are also kind of in league with these people who.
So, can I just clarify? Is this section of this show about Jeffrey Epstein, or is it about argument styles?
It's about an argument style to be used against centrists. It's the weaponization of the word that we can't say. The N-word, the British N-word, but not the real British N-word. Are you following?
Okay. So if there was a title,
it's a parody.
If there was a timestamp for this section, what would it be?
This is why we don't have timestamps.
Because none of your shit makes any fucking sense.
It's a parody of the weaponization of anti-Semitism.
Okay.
It's the weaponization. You see what I'm saying? And it's using the same tactics. You link different things, the grooming scandal, Peter Mandelson, and you say that there is a political problem with the ideology, with the thinking of these people, which means that they either are implicit in the issue itself, or at the very least, they're dismissive of it. They have a blind spot towards the problem. Because ideologically, to some degree, the evidence is all around you, right? Bill Clinton, he was heavily involved with Epstein. Bill Clinton, pillar of the centrist project. I'm sure a hero of Keir Starmer's, or would be if anybody would ever mention him anymore, but they don't. Does it work? I think it works pretty well. It's good, right?
Yeah.
Tell me it's good.
Tell me. It's good. It's good. Well done, Daniel. Are we going to do comments?
We've only got 3 minutes left. We'll do comments next time, because basically we haven't had many comments recently. People haven't really been listening or watching or commenting. Actually, we got quite a few views to the last video, despite nobody commenting. So, but I think we didn't say the word last time, so that's why I don't want to say it this time. I wonder if that helps in some way. I don't know. Anyway, we've got 3 minutes. What have you been up to this week, Matt? How are you?
Just time to boil an egg.
What news have you been watching?
Oh God, I can't remember. I watched
Should we
the
see if Keir Starmer has tweeted anything again?
I watched go on, stick it on. I watched the biography last night, I think, of Margaret Thatcher, which was quite interesting. It was about the fall of Margaret Thatcher, her final days. I hadn't seen that one before. It was on BBC Four. And the thing that I found most curious about it was that guess who was played Dennis Thatcher, Maggie's husband?
Who?
It was really well cast. Emperor Palpatine.
I've never seen him in anything else.
Yeah, I've never seen him in anything else, and he showed up as Dennis Thatcher as a really quite lovely and supportive husband, but a little bit, I don't know. He had a bit of he didn't like the pinkos, but he did love his wife. So it was a weird casting and quite good. It was a recent film. I think it was only last year. So it was interesting seeing Maggie.
Who played Maggie?
I didn't actually recognise the actress, but she was good. She made Thatcher very sympathetic, I thought, as well, which is quite interesting. Anyway, watch it on BBC Four if anyone's interested, or if anyone's seen it and wanted to comment. Not link below. Fucking comment below.
Let's watch.
You can always join me at Scourge of the Spin Machine on YouTube, or indeed Scourge of the Spin at Scourge of the Spin Machine on Substack. Watch him edit that out. Ha!
No, I'm very happy for you. Very happy for you to promote your stuff.
Like and subscribe.